Look, it's burning.
That was a stupid idea. Hiya, how you doing? How's my hair? What did you want to ask me again?
What are we doing?
Oh, we're in Nazareth, and we're off to the Lake of Galilee. I don't know, I'm not the person to ask, but we're road tripping.
We are in the
Capernaum. Capernaum.
What he said.
Ah,
The village of Jesus.
Capernaum.
Yeah. No, we're really thankful to be here and just see some of the different sites that Jesus walked. So it's really exciting. Yes. So this is actually our last vlog. So yeah, we're a bit sad about that, but we thought we'd recap a little bit and just try and reflect on some of the cool experiences we've had this year. I don't know about you guys, but it's been a real privilege just traveling around, seeing some of these places, and to finish off in this place as well, where Jesus walked, and some of the to see some of the religious sites is really cool. Yes, this is the Sea of Galilee.
Yeah. And it's like 40 degrees outside.
Yep. We're sitting in the sun just for you guys. So
This rock is hotting my bottom.
Hey, so Elias, what has been one of the coolest things you have seen this year?
I think one of the things I've just enjoyed the most is just the experiencing the hospitality. Basically in every country we went to, we experienced the Arab hospitality. Whether that was on the hike where, of the, how many days were we hiking?
21 days.
I think of the 21 days, for 12 of them we were spending it with locals, and most of those were strangers we'd never met before. That was really enjoyable. We had a great time.
One thing with the hospitality I was really shocked about. So the first day, like I'm from Sweden, the culture there is really closed. You don't talk to strangers, even on the bus or anywhere, unless you're like in danger. But anyway, on the first day on the hike, we stopped for a break and started chatting with these two guys. After that, we got invited for tea, then breakfast, then lunch, then we got around. He drove us around the whole city, showing us to all the places, and then we had dinner, and then we basically spent the night there. It was just crazy.
Like a full 24 hours with them.
Yeah. And just seeing how we didn't even know the guys, and they just shouted from the window, I think, up to us to have tea or something. And then we spent the whole day. That would never happen to me. That would be like super crazy, and it just blows my mind that.
I think it's good the way you mentioned it. I think it's actually funny because both of those aspects would be pretty weird in the West. You know, like first of all, inviting a complete stranger into your house. But second of all, for a complete stranger to accept that invitation.
Yeah.
And these kind of situations really allows for deep friendships to develop quite quickly. I don't know if you guys felt that as well, you know, but for example, our cafe friends from Egypt.
So we were in Egypt, and I messaged the guy on Hello Talk, which is just an app for language exchange. Messaged this guy saying, hey, I'm in Egypt, I'm in Cairo, do you want to meet up? And he took us to his local cafe where he kind of hangs out all day, every day. Well, sorry, every evening of every day. And we basically ended up spending maybe 10, maybe 15 nights.
Whole nights, like from 8 p.m.
literally
to 5
the whole
a.m.
night. And with maybe 10, maybe 15, maybe even at one point there was 20 of his friends there. Just a great crowd of people, hanging out with them. But those guys are actually our friends now. I don't speak for all of us, but I know for me I'd definitely go back and visit them again in the future, inshallah. And that was all just from, hey, do you want to meet up?
Yeah.
So when we arrived when we sort of met each other up, English. I'm the English speaker.
Yes.
When we met, when we had the joy of being acquainted with each other back in the good old days of September 2018, but we didn't really feel like we got much of a culture shock coming here, even though it was very different.
Yeah.
I think maybe because we expected it to be different, and we wanted to come here and become a part of the culture, and I suppose that's what we have to some extent. Whereas on the other hand, we found more of a reverse culture shock. I think notably 2 times. First of all, when we went to Beirut in Lebanon, and secondly when we came to Israel, across the border from Jordan.
For example, when came into Israel, felt really like getting back into Europe with just style of clothing and
Or lack of.
yeah, like just everything. So when we crossed the border from Israel into Palestine, almost felt like coming home because you came back to all the Arabs. It's weird because you expected like, okay, I will get shocked by this other culture, but you didn't expect to embrace the culture, and you're not part of it. You're still like a foreigner to them, but you feel in some way almost more home with them, right? With Arab culture right now than with Western culture.
And I remember when we reached the West Bank side, and the first thing we saw, having come from sort of, I don't know, there wasn't really much on the other side, but we came through into the West Bank side, and there was the very first thing we saw was a table, and a guy just shouting, "Batich, batich, batich," which means watermelon. And also, like, as soon as we got through, just past the stalls, there was the taxi section, and it was back to the typical "Tal, tal, Lowen, Lowen." So that was actually very much felt like coming home.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, although I am wondering now how that's gonna be. I think we're all of us are kind of wondering about that. And like when we arrive home in our own countries, how that's gonna be, how much of the Arab culture is still gonna be in our heads. You know, how easy it is to get back into the things that we used to know so well. And I think that's something that at least I am thinking about right now. Just curious how that's gonna go.
Yeah.
I think one of the most difficult things might be how difficult it is to interact with people who you don't already know. So, for example, I remember living in Amman and taking taxis everywhere. One of the first things that would happen in a conversation is I'd get into the taxi and we'd greet each other, and then the first thing they might say would often be, "Are you a Muslim?" And it was just like this. We'd get straight into a good conversation. So we were actually found that really beautiful about this culture is the fact that we were able to speak about so many things so easily with people that we didn't know, and we swiftly felt because of the culture that we actually did know them, which was really nice.
I think particularly the topic of faith is just so much more important here and so much more linked with the culture, so it's so much more normal to have a conversation with faith or about what you believe just with someone you've met for the first time 5 minutes ago. So I think that's a really beautiful thing. I think it's something that like has in some ways grown me a lot in my faith as well, because when you're asked questions about what you believe or why you believe certain things, it definitely challenges you to think a little bit more about why do I believe the things that I believe, and so I think that's definitely helped me to grow a lot in my faith and become stronger in what I believe as well.
One thing on that subject, I totally agree. It was so beautiful being able to get into deep conversations with people so easily. And I felt that actually we were able to use this just to become very real with each other quite quickly. But we were able just to sort of speak about ourselves and our home cultures, and about who we are and what's important to us, which for me, for all of us, is faith being the most important thing. Many of the people we spoke to were really happy to, just to puzzle things over, which is really great. Now, sadly, there was the odd one who was rather, not open to thinking outside his sort of own way of thinking. So there was the odd person we'd meet who didn't really want to, didn't want to be open-minded and just think about different things in life, whether it's religion or other things. But for the most part, we were able to have some really great chats with a lot of people.
This is a plastic bowl.
This is its lid.
Yes.
And Elias told me to say that I found this lid behind his rock. But the truth is, because I believe that the truth is important, is that Elias sat on this lid and it broke into small pieces, so he brushed those small pieces of plastic behind the rock. Now, on that subject, over to you.
Yeah. One thing that I was really surprised, again, from a really Swedish perspective, where we recycle everything we find, and if someone throws something on the ground, everyone gets super mad at them, usually.
He found that bag in the bush as well, just to add to the story.
Like on the hike, we could sometimes walk on the street, like in the middle of nowhere, and there was just this giant trail of trash next to the road, and it's just kind of sad to see that people, like, there's some super beautiful nature places here in this region, but so many places are as filled with trash, and it's kind of sad to see plastic bags flying in the sky and stuff like that, because like God created this earth, and it's our responsibility to take care of it. And I just feel like it's so sad when people don't think about that and just throw their mug out the car, or drop the paper after they had their bag of chips on the ground, even though sometimes, not always, but there's like trash bins right next to them.
Like this.
Nay.
People do this, and they don't pick it up.
But I would, because it's still water in that bottle. I'm thirsty.
That's the only reason.
No.
Nej.
Nej. Nu slutar vi med det.
Nej, mjölk, knäckebröd, kaviar!
We almost lived in Sverige.
Välkommen till Sverige!
We almost lived a year together, and this is all Swedish to know.
knäckebröd.
Anyway, speaking of
Knäckebröd, kaviar,
Välkommen till Sverige.
Sverige,
Sverige.
Sverige.
Speaking of language, Arabic, we've been studying Arabic, if you have missed that. It's a really irritating language, because it's a beautiful language, but it's irritating to learn because it's so big. But when you finally start to learn and you see connection between words and stuff, and you actually be able to speak a bit, it's so rewarding. For example, I was for some reason I was sitting down and had like 15 kids around me who spoke no English. It was me and them in Arabic, and they started asking me questions in Arabic, and I just had to survive with the Arabic I had, and it was super challenging.
Nothing.
But it was just so rewarding to be able to actually speak to people in Arabic, even though I only studied for like 4 months.
I think that's not only just with language. I think that's with basically everything, is to put yourself in a position where you really have to. Not only do you learn the quickest, you learn so much more than just that. I think it really shapes you into like a, I don't know, more experienced person or something,
Yeah.
But I think in some ways that's actually one of the things I've enjoyed the most about this year. I think it's very linked to what I mentioned earlier about hospitality, but I think the fact that we study language provided so many more opportunities to experience the culture, experience the hospitality, because people invited us because they realized they could communicate with us, like so many people will greet you with the little English they know, like, "Hello, what's your name?
How are you?
From where you are?
Welcome to
What's
Jordan!"
all this kind of stuff, and I think that's the beautiful thing about it, is when you answer and show them that you know a little bit of Arabic, and then, whoa, you speak Arabic, and then you can have such a more like in-depth conversation. You can experience the culture to new depths, and I think that's one of the beautiful things about this year. It's not been your average tourism. It's really been exploring a new culture and learning to love a different people group. Thijs, what are you doing next year?
Next year I'm going back to school. I'm going to study something. It's going to be an exciting year.
What?
Yes.
Nice.
I got engaged about a month ago.
Mabruk!
Yeah, so I'm hoping to get married at the end of the year. And then next year I'll be studying psychology. But I'm also really looking forward just to using the Arabic that I've learned while I'm here to mingle with the Syrian refugees and any Arabic speakers that I can find back home to make sure I don't forget the language as well. So I'm really looking forward to that.
So yeah, I'm going back to Sweden, and I'm going to stay in my forest the rest of my life. No,
I mean.
no, but I'm going back to Sweden, and I'm going to start off with working for my uncle. He has a kind of electrician company that I'm going to work for. But I also want to pursue something within media. Not entirely sure how I will do this and when, but in some way I will continue making films, inshallah. What about you?
I am going to do one of many things, probably most of many things. I might go to Bible college, maybe. I might work for my dad as a sort of a salesman, maybe.
Inshallah.
I might go travel a bit. I don't know, I've been doing that for a while.
I haven't
actually.
traveled enough.
I might, yeah, I love water sports, so I might go into a job teaching that or something like that, get some experience as an instructor perhaps. I don't know, we'll see. We'll see where God leads.
Yes.
Amen.
Amen.
I know Middle Eastern culture is more different, but nevertheless, our 4 individual cultures have still been very different. It's been certainly a roller coaster getting to know each other and living alongside each other, and you know, almost in the same sense as a family. We've never been apart really, you know, for more than maybe a week or something. It's just been so such a blessing actually to be able to get to know each other and to, you know, there's always life is never easy, but we've sort of managed to just come to this beautiful middle ground of getting on with each other and being good friends and brothers in Christ. So that's been really nice.
Yeah, so speaking of family, first of all, we just really want to thank you for for watching every week.
Every other week.
If you haven't done that already, check out our Instagram, which we also have, on which you've a lot of content which we have not uploaded onto YouTube, but is on Instagram. A lot of stories. A friend of ours who is in Jordan might actually continue with that. We're not 100% sure what's going to happen, but yeah, stay tuned for that because who knows? The show must go on.
Which way now?
Which way now?
Thank you. Lots of love.
Thank you.
As for now, tute tute, خمسة الهتوتة.
Yeah, yeah, still here. Yeah, hiya. Hi, I'm Sean. Nice to meet you.